That I made to make the change in my life was to throw my hands up and ask God to take over. That's really the only conscious decision.
You are listening to A Cup of SonRise, where we know a yawn is a silent scream for coffee. Now your host, Pastor Joe and Stada Indy.
And good morning. You guys are on A Cup of SonRise. That's right, with the one and only little short round guy, Pastor Joe, and the amazing, the incredible, the bomb. That's because when she's mad at me, she explodes. The one and only
Stada rocks. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. We've got some very special guests here from the Brook Wellness Center. Now, the first time I was even familiar, this has probably been 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I'm going through Facebook. I was working for an insurance company, and I was going through Facebook, and there was this accent. And I'm going, because I'm flipping through the things, right? And this accent come up. I'm going, what in the world is that? And I'm going, and this person's so bubbly, and they're ministering over the way. And I'm going to Brook Wellness Center. So I'm sitting there listening. I've been a fan ever since. And I was kind of, because I've been watching the devotional moments that you do. And then a month ago or less, my whole system was hacked. And so I had to start with a whole new Facebook. And I don't remember everybody, and I was like, man, and all of a sudden Brook Wellness Center popped. I went, oh yeah. And so now I'm back on track. And then we had a situation in our life. And I said, oh, we got to get them on. We got to get them on. So, guys, I want to introduce, we're going to be talking to Stan and Rosie here in just a little bit, but they are the founders, CEO, president, and the clinical director and chaplain of the Brook Wellness Center out of Branson, Missouri. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So I'm really excited about say good morning again.
Good morning.
You just wait, guys. You just wait. Okay, a couple of things before we get started. Today's national holiday. I love this one.
It's got to be food, you guys. You know Joe's all into the food holidays.
National Bratwurst Day. Yes, right? There was a golf course over in by Boaz, Missouri. And, man, you play the front nine, and you get to the clubhouse, and the brats were amazing. And then for the back nine, you're miserable, but it was so worth it. So I may go play golf today just to go get brats. Yeah,
that's a great idea.
All right, great. And so that's today's national holiday. Go out and get a bratwurst because I'm going to celebrate. That's definitely one of my celebrations is today. Awesome. Okay. You have this morning's devotional.
I do. As usual, we're reading out of the 30-second devotional by Mr. Barry Young. And today we're reading out of Psalms 103, verses 2 through 3. And I want to read it to you off of the Bible instead of out of here. So I've got it pulled up here. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Isn't that in the song? It should be. Yes. And forget not all his benefits, who forgives all your iniquities, who heals all your diseases.
Amen.
And the responder's reflection down here says, a court of law promises a trial with an unknown outcome. God promises an immediate trial with a known outcome, that he forgives you.
Amen.
Amen.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Because no matter what we go through, he's already got this figured out. And we have such a small vision. We see now. Because when 30 years ago, before you left England, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, make sure I get that right. England, you had 30 years ago, you had no idea where you were going to be at today. But 2,000 years ago, God did know where you were going to be at today. Yes. And I love that. We have such a small vision. We see now. That's all we see. Second by second, whatever happens. But God sees tomorrow, an hour from now, 10 years from now, 100 years from now. And that just amazes me to think about that power and what he has and what he gives and how he plants. And I used to think, Rosie and Stan, I used to think that there was the perfect will of God And I was taught this, that there's the perfect will of God and then there's the permissive will of God. But if you don't follow the perfect will of God, that he allows you to follow in the permissive will. Well, here's the problem with that thought process that I was taught. God already knows when I'm going to mess up. He already knows the curves I'm going to go through, the side tracks I'm going to go through. He already knows the path, all the major screw ups. So what I'm following is God's perfect will, because it didn't shock him. No, there's nowhere that God said, "Man, I can't believe Joe did that. That one caught me off guard."
That's my line.
Yeah. Now with your ministry that you guys have, I would have to imagine, I would have to assume, with the Brook Wellness Centers, you get guys like that will say, "I've messed up too far for God to forgive me. I've gone too far." You as the chaplain, I imagine you probably hear that quite a bit over there.
It's a common problem. People actually, there's a difference between guilt and shame.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Shame is where we're disgusted with ourselves. We're bad.
Mm-hmm.
Guilt, we did something bad. 90% of our people are to that point in their life where it's not guilt anymore. It's absolute shame. When they look at themselves, they're like, I'm just worthless anyway. There's nobody that can save me. There's nothing out there for me. So I'm just going to stay in drugs because that's my best friend. That's my lover.
Mm-hmm. That's my comfort zone. That's what I'm used to. This is the path. Guys, we're going to be talking about the Brook Wellness Center. And you guys over at the Brook Wellness, not only are an outpatient treatment center, but it's faith-based. Mm-hmm. The core is Christ. And I love that. But before we get into that, Rosie, tell us a little bit about yourself. And then we're going to have Stan do that.
You just want to hear my accent.
Okay.
He just wants to hear you talk.
That's what it is.
I know. I understand, Stan. We got the same kind of accent. So I'm like, absolutely. We don't need an interpreter for this. We're good. Now, anything happens, Stan, you've got interpretation. All right, we're moving. And no, folks, we're not moving in gifts. So I don't want no confusion here. So tell us a little bit about your background before you got involved in the Brooks.
So I actually I was born in Gibraltar. That's what it's called, Gibraltar. Gibraltar is the very tip of Europe, the very bottom of Europe, and it's a British colony. Okay. And then when I was 18, I moved over to England. So I spent most of my life in England, and until I got here in 2004. And then I met Stan online like 23 years ago. I didn't even know how to turn on a computer. He had just started. I'm serious. the year 2000. I'm like, how do you press this thing? So,
now she does lives in the morning.
Yes, it's I'm still challenged, but there you go. But with when I grew up with a very good family. We'd never seen drugs, alcohol. That was not my family. My family, we lived with my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandfather, my grandmother. It was a typical kind of very family. I say typical. It's not for him, but it's a very typical European type of family. That's what I should say. The culture.
Collective.
Very collective family.
Yes, very close. Okay. And so I never knew anything about drugs, alcohol. That was to me was Hollywood. I'm serious. It was like, wow, I was that naive person of like, if somebody tells me, oh, they're on drugs, oh, they can just stop. They could just stop. That was just me because I didn't know any different. I wasn't brought up in that, right? So so I grew up, and then eventually I came to England, and I was in England. And again, I was a single mom at one point. I was, had 3 children, and anyway, but I didn't have. There was this rehab center. There was even my thoughts. Okay, it wasn't even my thoughts. I went through a lot of different things with my ex-husband. Okay, and basically, he did something to my child he never should have done.
Right.
So I just packed up and left with my 3 kids because it's only going to happen once, folks.
Gotcha.
I'm just letting you know.
Get them, girl. Get them.
So I went and I became a single mom. So here I am in England with the 3 kids, and no intention. I was angry at the world, angry at men, and I was battling. So eventually, I had an encounter with the Lord, September 19, 1999, and I got saved. Like, I'm talking radically saved. Like, yes, like the Paul to Damascus experience, for real. And it changed my whole world. And so eventually I said, well, Lord, I need Christian friends. I don't know anybody. Everybody just disappears because when you start talking about the Bible, they're like,
yes.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
She's a Bible thumper or whatever. No, I was just so excited.
Yes.
I'm like, where has this been all my life? Right. So, so I went on the internet eventually when I figured it out. And I went into this place called christiancafe.com. Okay. It was the only thing that popped up. And I'm like, oh, cool. I can speak to other people. Well, I'm realizing that I'm speaking from everywhere in the world. Okay. And then I'm saying, hey, so this person comes along and says, hey, I do online Bible studies. I'm like, oh, yes. Right. So I'm there. So eventually it says, hey, if you need any questions, this is where you can reach me. Here's my phone number. I'm going, I ain't calling no. Are you kidding me? I'm not chasing after no man. Or no, there was no romance at all. It was literally, I wanted to learn about the Bible.
Sure.
So eventually I
had some questions.
I had more questions, right? Because my biggest question was, can I remarry? Is that against the law? You know, God's whatever. You know, I had all this. I was brought up Catholic. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
okay.
so once married, you marry, that's it. You divorce, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had this so I asked this person online, hey, can I remarry? I mean, I don't know, right? Because the first thing that happened once I got saved, the Lord had me, with his help, forgive my ex-husband. I had to forgive him because I couldn't go on any further, because you don't want to take the baggage from the other, right?
Bad idea.
So anyway, I this person says, well, this, and I thought, well, if you've got any questions, call me. And I thought, okay, well, all right, I'll call him. I called, nobody answered. Anyway, so I go to church, come back, and there's a little thing on the answering machine, right? Say, hi, this is Stan from Texas. I'm like, oh, okay. He's only called me, and yes, don't know what to do, but I love the accent, so I'm gonna see. You said I kept rewinding. I'm going, that's really cool. I mean, he only spoke like 30 seconds.
Hi, this is Stan from Texas. That sounds amazing.
Stada's from Texas. Now she's gonna have that accent for a week.
Well, he was actually he's from Washington State, but he was living in Texas at the time. So anyway, so he called back. We called back. We spent 4 hours on the phone, and we decided we were going to get married. We hadn't even
planned our wedding.
Planned our wedding.
Okay,
23 years ago.
Okay, so you guys met in a Christian Bible study chat room.
Yes.
Okay, and so listen, Stan says, listen, any questions? I'm the man, Stan the man.
Exactly.
And I got you. So you call him up from England to Texas, and he says, 30 seconds. He goes, okay, this is Stan. I'm the man. Apparently he was. And so call up, and 4 hours later,
we were planning the wedding. We had never even met.
And you guys have been together now for how
23
long?
years.
And that's why it's worked out so well.
That's amazing.
God's anointed, what God's appointed.
Yes.
You know?
Like, whoa. Anyway, he came over, he met my children, whatever. So we were married and all that. So as we were going there for four years or so, the Lord says, you're supposed to go to Bible school. And he goes, okay. We kept looking in England, go, no, it's in Texas. And like, hold on. I've never lived in America. Wait a minute. So the Lord had to actually touch my heart, because you don't just uproot everything again. This is a different continent. You understand? This is not just moving from Arkansas to the Missouri. To Missouri, as you said, is Missouri, but for me, but I don't know.
I got an England girl going Missouri. This is a good day.
Please don't encourage
I
him.
call it Missouri. So anyway, we moved here, and he goes to Bible school. Pastor Steve Hill, he was a renowned evangelist. Mm-hmm. He was in the Brownsville Revival.
Brownsville Revival.
I'll let him tell you about his story to me, because his story growing up is completely different than mine. Different.
See, and that's one of the things that I love, because everybody says, I am a firm believer in opposites attract. Different backgrounds, different things like opposite. That. And God can anoint and appoint and use it as a ministry. And with your background, coming into Texas, bringing 3 kids.
Yeah, 4. We had kids. Okay. We had 1 together, so we now have 4.
Okay, but you brought 3 with you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of. It's just yes.
We'll go simple. So we brought some kids. 4 hours. You guys have as many kids as you guys talked to me at a wedding. Okay. As long as that. Okay?
Yes.
And you come into America, and Stan, what on that voice? I've got to ask. When did you say, you know what? This is the woman for me?
Okay, then I get to tell my part of that story. I was doing that online Bible study.
Yes.
Was singing it out to her, and she did contact me through an email. We talked 4 hours. But here's what happened. I wasn't dating. I was on my way to Bible college. Before we met, I told God I'm done. I'd actually went on a date with a lawyer in Midland, Texas. She was pretty and rich. I was done.
Yeah.
Turned my life to God. It was that night, this Christian cafe pops up. I'm on AOL doing my online Bible study, sending out to my friends. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what is this? Her picture was the featured profile picture.
Oh, wow.
So I see this face. I'm like, wow, she's pretty. And again, I'm looking at, she's some girl over in England.
That's never going to work.
Yeah.
So you're not even really looking.
No, I'm going to Bible college. I'm there in Midland,
and you
Texas.
weren't really looking.
No, we were not looking.
She weren't looking.
I love that. I love this.
So then I'm literally, I get home the next day because I can't get that picture out of my head. I see her face. I read about it. I was reading the Left Behind series. Couldn't wait to get into the book.
Oh yeah, great series.
Back. I had it down. I was like, okay, I'm done working. I'm gonna go check my emails. I'm gonna go read. Right. Well, what's back?
Get closer.
Oh no, this mic's good.
Oh.
So it's a sure. Anyway, sorry, old sound man stuff came out of me. But so I get home from work the second day, and all day all I could think about was that face. I could not get her out of my head, that picture of her. So I get there and I get done work. I'm staying at my brother's house helping him do some paint jobs before I go to college. That's what I was doing.
Now, what were you going to college for?
I was going to go to DeVry Institute in Dallas to get my 3-year. I would get the bachelor in computer engineering. Then I was going to Mount Multnomah Bible College with that bachelor degree to put.
So you were going for engineering.
Well, I was going to engineering to become a pastor. I wanted to use that bivocationally to put me through school. Mount Multnomah, you had to have a bachelor degree. It was for some reason I wanted to go to that Bible college at the time. Didn't know, but so I Where am I at in the story?
So you couldn't get her out of your head. You went home, check your email.
And the part he didn't tell you is that he was rebuking the devil all night.
I was.
No
I'm
women.
Not dating, I'm not. Lord, I'm focused on you. The next day, I can't get her out of my head. I get home, and my brother has rules at his house. You have to have showers, dinner together as a family. Then you can go and do your thing, even though I'm a grown man.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, come on, you guys, hurry up and eat. Kids, shut up. I'm sitting there with my niece and nephew. Guys, come on, let's eat. Because I wanted to go. It took me about 4 hours to find her again on that site because I didn't know about browser histories and all that stuff. I find her, and that's when I sent her the first email. Hey, Stan, Texas. I do an online Bible study, and she's emailed me a few times, and then of course that I couldn't get her out of my head. I could see her in my face all day, could not move her. I'm like, Lord, get her out of my head in Jesus' name. And I'm sitting.
He's the one who put her there.
And I didn't even notice that.
One of the questions I had somebody, we pastor this small church there in Branson, and one of the questions somebody asked me just last week: how do you know when it's God's voice or your voice? You're going to have a struggle with that. It does happen. Sometimes you struggle. Sometimes it's very clear. But this is such a reality.
Perfect example right there.
Perfect example of that. In Bible college and listening to God's voice, God is saying, this is what you're doing. And he's rebuking God.
Yes. The devil. He's rebuking the devil to leave him alone.
So you guys, this 4-hour conversation, how long was it before you ended up coming together?
Well, August. No, it was August that we spoke first. November, he came to England, met my children. December, we were married.
Very good.
Yeah. 3 months later.
That's perfect.
And my mom kept saying, wait a minute, what if he's an axe murderer? And I'm going, I'll just go to heaven sooner than I thought. It's okay. I'm serious.
Oh, tell them about the arranged marriage conversation.
Oh, yes. So I'm on the plane. And they go, why are you going to America? Oh, to meet my husband. Is it an arranged marriage? Yes, by him.
Arranged.
There you go. Okay, and I want to bring this out because I think we did a show here a couple shows ago. And guys, ladies, men, you're hurting, you're lonely, and you're doing all these dating apps to try to find that one person. And all it's doing is putting you in a meat market, because that's what dating apps really are meat markets. Okay. They met in a Bible chat room. And God brought them together. God has the one. When you're focused on God, God can focus on you.
Yes.
But he's waiting for you to get focused. So get off the stupid date apps, that meat market, and get back. Don't be going to Facebook. Put your face in the book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right.
So now, because I know with Stada and I wasn't going to get married again. I done screwed them up. I'm done. I'm done. And after she got saved, I think we were married 5 weeks later. But we'd been together for some years during our time in the world. But so you guys come together, got married in Texas, going to Bible school to be a pastor.
He's not gone to school yet. He's not going to
Bible. Yeah,
right.
we're working toward
ready.
that process. Okay, so now you ended up going to Bible school, right? Yes, graduating for your pastoral.
I went to Heartland School of Ministry in Irving, Texas, and that was the evangelist Steve Hill's ministry that he started down there. So I was in the pioneer class, which was interesting. I got to go with the first 36 kids that started. We all started together. 28 of us graduated.
Very cool.
And it was incredible. It was 5 days a week, 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock every day.
Wow.
Intense Bible study.
And then to work that night.
Yes.
Yeah. With 3 kids at home and then one coming here soon. Okay. So I want to fast forward.
Yes.
Okay. So together you're in Texas. What was the thing that got you out of Texas into Branson to start the Brook?
So 2007 is when he graduated. About a week or so before he graduated, I mean, I was with a friend. She was playing the piano, the keyboard, and we were just in a state of worship. We just worshiped right there. The Lord just, I mean, it's like a download. It just dropped. It goes, you're supposed to open up a rehab center. I'm like,
and you have no background in that whatsoever.
None. And that's what shocked me. I'm like, okay, I have no experience, at all. Which once you hear his story, you will see, oh, I get it. But I didn't know anything. So when he's sharing his life to me about his upbringing and what he did, I'm like, it's like I'm watching a movie. I have never experienced none of that, right? So anyway, so so we're there, and he says, I want you to open this. So we're looking around in Texas. Where, right? Well, there's nowhere in Texas. I just don't have that witness in my spirit.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Stan says, yeah, I get the same thing. We're supposed to, but where? I don't get it. We had a house. I was a bank manager. He was an investment banker. I mean, we had really good jobs, good salaries. I mean, we were good. And the Lord says, Branson. I'm like,
just out of nowhere.
Wait, whoa. Branson,
Missouri.
And we look at him, this is a tourist town. Why are we going to a tourist town?
Well, let me tell you my part of that.
Yeah.
I did. I looked it up and I saw Table Rock Lake and I saw Bass Pro, world-class bass fishery.
Yeah, okay.
I'm all in.
So
say no more, Lord.
So now to kind of tie this where you're at, because with your upbringing, but yours was a lot different. Tell us about a little bit about yours, Stan.
I'll give you the quick version.
Okay.
I grew up on the West Coast, Washington State. Stepdad was he was 100% Blackfoot Native American Indian. Great, lovely guy. Loved him until he drank alcohol, which was every day from the time he woke up till the time he passed out. So my brothers and I, we grew up being abused by him physically. But at 3 days for my 12th birthday, it was time to go be a man, my stepdad said. So he kicked me in the ribs and moved me out. So I went in the streets. At that time, the bikers kind of took me in. I'm not going to say which group. But,
right.
Turned out that I had a cousin. I call him my brother, but a cousin was a pres of a chapter over there on the West Coast. So when I was 9 years old, he blood dropped me. And so I kind of grew up, and you understand that.
Yeah.
See you guys shaking your head, so you understand that. So I kind of grew up in that. You know, I'm 9 years old, and I'm out there fighting my grown cousin brother and all his buddies. And so I got a little scared. I spent a little time in the streets. When I turned 13, I found a wallet that had $600 in it. So I took that and invested in marijuana. It was $575 for a quarter or for a pound, I think. And so that's what I started doing. 13, I'm selling pot to the bikers. It's kind of funny. They're the ones that got me started, right? And it was just, but so my life is just crazy. I don't remember a lot of those times. A lot of street fights and just trying to survive. But
at 13,
at 13, I'm running the streets. I get in so much trouble that they kicked me out of the state of Washington. I get in a fight and I broke this kid's neck, and the Washington State said, you have to leave and go live with your dad in Texas. That's when I ended up going to Texas.
Okay.
I got there and I got in a little bit of trouble, but I ended up going to Midland High School and stuff, and kind of got on track, learned how to work. Something I think my biological dad taught me hard work ethics. So I'm thankful for that. But
he wasn't exactly the nice.
He wasn't nice either. My dad was he was married 11 times. I had 23 brothers and sisters.
Yep.
Good heavens.
See what I'm saying? We're so different.
Yeah.
Wow.
Totally different. And in fact, I don't even know some of them. I've met them, but I don't know them.
Yeah.
Right.
I know them by name. But so where am I at? I get married when I'm 17 in Texas, Midland. I married the little Texas little sweetheart, She divorces me 2 years later. It didn't work. I end up meeting this little girl and discovering methamphetamines. All right. It's weird because I never did meth before. Growing up with my brother up there on the West Coast, I never actually did it. When I knew what it was, I heard 417. I know my brothers and them all talking about it and stuff. I was always a pothead. Like, nah, just give me pot. I'm good. So anyway, this little girl, I'm hurting. I'm at the lake, and I see this little girl, and she screams and cusses at me. And next thing you know, we're together.
That sounds like our relationship.
Yeah.
I discovered methamphetamine, which I find very quickly after 9 months that this is the devil. I'm going to go to hell, and I'm scared. Mm-hmm. There was a night that I literally heard Satan saying, "I'm coming after you, man." And I don't know, it was that tweaker brain, but I actually went to kill myself. I went to jump off the bridge and say goodbye, Granbury, Texas. There's a bridge there that if you jump just right, people could find a way to die there. And I was like, I'm done it. I had a quarter left. I looked like a skeleton. I looked in the mirror. That girlfriend, I just messed it up with her because her parents heard us talking on the phone about drugs, and they isolated her away.
Sure.
And I'm sitting there, what am I going to do? So I'm like, I'm done. I can't see my baby, my brand new baby who's born. So I'm just going to jump on the bridge. I had 1 quarter left. There's a Safeway grocery store there in I don't know if it's still there, but it was in Granbury, Texas. And I had the big old gigantic yellow phone book thing, how the hanging down. And I put the quarter in to call my ex-wife to say, tell my daughter I'm sorry. I'm going to go say goodbye. And the phone was busy. So I got my quarter back. And the phone book is open. And the page, it says, be all you can be, join the Army. Right?
Wow.
I swear to you, this really happened.
We went from suicide. Let's go to the second neck, second best.
Best. I'm sitting there going, and I'm just looking at it. And I'm like, be all you can be. What can I be? I'm a piece of crap. Forgive me for the word, but that's how I felt.
Absolutely. That's real.
And so I put that quarter in. The recruiter comes and picks me up, takes me to Dairy King. Not Queen, King.
Yeah.
$22 in food. I'll never forget, which was like 4
burgers.
I was hungry. I'm just devouring his food. He goes, so what are you coming off of? And I just told him meth. And he goes, all right, I got you. You guys don't bust on recruiters for this. He took me to his house, let me have a shower. His wife washed my clothes. He gave me an ounce of marijuana.
Oh my goodness.
And said, I want you to get off of meth because I'm going to take you and put you in the Army. I'm going to get you in. I'm going to get you out here as soon as I can. 2 weeks later, I'm Fort Sill, Oklahoma, field artillery, 7 years in the military. Turned out I was a good soldier. I got chosen to go and do some pretty cool stuff. Was on my way to become a warrant officer in intelligence. I got injured in Berlin. The wall came down in Berlin. As you guys know, I was there. I was stationed there. And when the wall came down, they're like, well, you're injured. We don't really have that job for you anymore because Berlin, we're not here. So I come back to America. Don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I get mixed up in drugs again, cocaine. So the Army taught me how to fight, taught me how to do things. Well, what do you do when that's all you know?
You find jobs where you can fight.
Jobs where I can fight and do the things. So I ended up meeting this gentleman that was, can't talk too much.
Sure.
But I ended up being a bodyguard. And I did some pretty bad things. We used to bring a lot of cocaine into the country.
Okay.
So one day I had to go do a collection. And he pointed, he said, up there in that apartment, just go up there and it's $100. Well, $100 was a punch in the ribs or something,
Right.
I went up there to do the collection, and it was one of my best friends that I went to school with. My brother and I were his co-best man.
Oh, wow.
And I look at him and I'm just like, and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, this cocaine is so poison that it's affecting my friends.
Yes.
You never see that when you're dealing. You don't realize what we're doing to our friends, right?
Right.
So I paid his debt, punched him in the stomach, and I went and said, I'm out. I'm done. Well, that was hard to get out. Thankfully, I had a brother that was connected. How he was, I was able to get out of that lifestyle. I got to walk away, and everybody was happy on both sides. So we're all good.
But you had an encounter with the Lord.
I had an encounter with the Lord. Oh, my goodness. You guys, I saw Satan in real life. And when I saw Satan in real life, I said, wait a minute. If he's real, then God's got to be real. And I sure don't want to go that way. I got a little bit scared.
Yeah.
And I met Jesus, and I have never changed. I can honestly tell you, Rosie, her story of how she got saved, I know we don't have a lot of time today, but someday you guys have to actually hear that, because that is different than her, the Paul. It's amazing. Jesus came to her in her house in England. All right.
We're gonna have to schedule another time with you guys, because I've got so many questions right now popping through my head, and I'm looking at the time going,
I'm like, oh my goodness,
we need to double this. So what I want to do, guys, we're gonna bring them back on, because this is powerhouse, man. This is powerhouse. But I want to talk. You've got an event coming up with Brook Wellness Center, and as God brought you in, because we're going to discover more on Brook Wellness Center. But right now, what does you started Brook Wellness Center when?
2018.
And what does Brook Wellness Center? Because I know we had to have his testimony to tie that in.
Yes.
So what does Brook Wellness Center do?
So we're an outpatient treatment center. We do substance use and mental health. Okay. We help children, adolescents, and adults. Okay. So his heart, even though he's adult, the children for him, because he was that homeless kid.
Yeah.
Right.
You see?
Yes.
So for him,
Very
it's like, if I can turn this person's life now,
we don't have to worry about it later.
right? We're not going to be the criminals. It's not going to be the drug dealers of tomorrow, you know? So that's where his love is the children, is his soft spot. But so what we do is we're a nonprofit, but most importantly is we're faith-based. That's the most important thing, because, I mean, we've got therapies. Of course, we got therapies and all that, but yes.
We are state certified to provide evidence-based treatment modalities.
Okay.
But Rosie and I, we're faith. We're all God. We love God. And that's how we oversee the Brook, is through Christian values.
If you go to their Facebook page, which is the Brook Wellness Center, you go to their, this is how I found you some years ago. If you go to their page, Rosie does a morning devotional on there, and they're amazing. They really are, because you have this person. Number one, in the morning, I got to have my coffee. Don't talk to me and let me get, situated, get into my devotional, whatever I need to do. But when Rosie comes on around 8 o'clock, right around 9, between 8 and 9, she gets in there. She gives us devotional, and it's very uplifting. The joy of the Lord is there. And how many knows the joy of the Lord is our strength?
Yes.
And it's very uplifting. It's very encouraging. Get your coffee, turn on Rosie, Brook Wellness Center, and listen. It's not very long.
No, it's usually 5 minutes max.
5 minutes, and get in there. I'm going to tell you, it's going to really make your day. And the accent's a bonus. Okay. So if somebody they're having problems with addictions.
Yes.
Somebody who's having some mental
depression,
anxiety.
They're kind of sisters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to call up and they're in tears, whatever the situation may be, or even court appointed.
Yes.
Now, do you also work with people who, because you're an outpatient, who's already in a program, but they can come to you as an outpatient?
Yes.
Okay. So they come, what are they going to experience? They're going to walk in, you've got to do the evaluation process first. So what are they going to go through?
But before that, there's going to be that encouraging voice on the other end, because the worst thing they can feel is judged. That's the worst thing. So we're a non-judgmental. See, he's the judge, right?
Absolutely.
We're not the judge.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter if you've come from sex trafficking, because we have that too.
Mm-hmm.
Sex trafficking, if you've been just selling dope, whatever it is, or you're at the end of the road, it doesn't matter what it is. We're going to say, we are so glad you called. You just joined the Brook family. This is your family.
I'm going to tell you one of the things I like when I call over there, okay, is we're going to find that person that you're wanting to talk to. You are not on hold.
Right.
And I love that. And that may sound really simple, but when it's like, okay, we're going to put you on hold now. You're like, oh, for
Even
crying
when you
out
call
loud.
911, thank you
Yeah.
for calling 911. Could you please hold?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
What?
Hold on, Robert. I'm on hold with the police.
Yes.
Okay.
Stop having the heart attack.
But yeah, stop. But what that does, it's like, okay, we find value in you. So we're not going to put, I mean, in reality, yeah, I'm on hold, but I'm not on hold because I know somebody's getting somebody.
Yes.
Now I've had to leave a message, I think a time or two, but it's almost like, it was okay. I wasn't on hold. You know, so I know that sounds really warped. That's the way my mind works.
Yeah.
It was the 80s years, but you know, it's just that it's that part of that you have value.
Yes.
And I think that carries on into what you just said is we're not going to judge you. That's not our job. So they're going to come in. It's a non-judgment based. Let's take you for who you are and where we're at.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to love you with the love of Jesus, because if we get in our head, we're going to judge you. See what I'm saying? If we get in our own, because it's like, how can he? No, it's like, we don't know how they got there. We don't know how they got to drinking or doing drugs. We don't know that. But then see, I've looked back in my life and going, you know what? If I had gone through what you have gone through, I can't say that I would never start drinking or doing drugs.
Right.
And that's how I always put that in my head, you know? So I get on that person's level. I'm like, wow, you know, but the fact that they've reached out, I get so excited that they do. And so I'm a hugger. That's me. I'm a hugger. And I always just say, hey, you're going to get a mama hug.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen when you come over here, you know?
Yes.
And they're all our kids. That's how we are. We have these probably 300 kids. That's how we call it. So because we're now an outpatient, but we're non-profit, the most important is we have to also raise funds. So here's how it works. So we have people that come from children division, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we provide services for them. So that's one way of funding. We have insurances. We take a lot of insurances, right? We also have a different state funding. So it comes through that. Or private clients as well. If you don't fit into any of those categories, because we don't want you to pay. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, because that's how we had somebody, no money, homeless, but needing help.
Correct.
So now something like that, because that's probably a lot of people.
Yeah, they're like, I can't afford it. How much is? And we're like, okay, don't think about money right now. Just think about, do you want help?
Yes.
Do you want help? We're going to give you help. We're going to figure out the money.
Right.
So if they don't qualify for any of those, we have a scholarship fund. Okay. Things like the gala. So everything that we do is a fundraiser. Okay. Everything that they do is a silent auction, a live auction, whatever it is we do. We sell tables, sponsors, whatever. Everything, after we obviously clear the expense of what it costs, right?
Right.
Everything goes into the scholarship fund. Everything. So anybody that comes in and they really truly cannot afford it, we're like, don't let money be the reason why you don't get help.
Absolutely.
That's
And
beautiful.
we've never turned anyone away in 5 years. Never. Because of
That
money.
is so beautiful.
And we were invited, Stott and myself, we were invited, and we're going to be there.
Yes.
Good.
And so I'm
Thank you for the
looking forward to
RSVP.
it. There you go.
This is our RSVP.
Good.
Listen, apparently I can't work an email. I can't work a text message to you. So I told you on the phone, I got to do this verbally because I got fat fingers and they don't work with my brain. But this is on Saturday, September 9th. Doors open at 5:30 at the Sanctuary of Hope, 1790 Bee Creek Road in Branson. Dinner, live and silent auction. Tickets are $40 a person, and that's a great deal because not only are you getting fed, you got the auction going on, but think of all the ones that you're able to help.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this one thing and not go into a lot of detail about it, but Branson needs this, needs this type of ministry, needs this type of healing, because somebody going through drug rehabilitation, alcohol, whatever that situation is, God can move in a great and powerful way. And in fact, I know Stada and you guys don't even know this, but I know there's somebody going over to your place now that had a major impact on us, major impact. And we're glad he's there.
Good.
Okay. But guys, you can register online, thebrookWellnessCenter.org/events. Go to their Facebook page, the Brook Wellness Center, not the Brooks, the Brook Wellness Center, based off 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 4 with Elijah. Okay, thank you, buddy. Thank you, Matt. And we're going to have them back because, guys, we haven't even touched everything yet, but we've got a great base and we're going to get more. And so as soon as we can get them back, in fact, after we go off, I'm going to say, when can we have you back? So just go ahead and talk amongst yourself on a date. Okay, guys, we were going to have to get out of here, but don't forget to stay tuned for the next program coming up in about 15 minutes. You've got the next program is Changing Times. If you want to be a guest on Cup of SonRise, email me, cupofsunrise@gmail.com. Guys, God bless. Love you. See you later.
Not a lot. Thanks.